Getting through the airport security is one of the most stressful moments during a travel. But you can save yourself a lot of stress and not be pulled out of the line for additional scan by applying some simple tips. I have spent hundreds of hours in the airport security lines being searched and scanned countless times. So in this video I'm gonna share with you the 10 best tips on what not to wear for the TSA check. Number 9 is one of my favorite travel hacks that really makes the process much easier. Let's start with an item that you definitely should not be wearing for the scanning process itself. From my experience, this is one of the most common reasons to trigger the alarm. Many people just forget about it or just don't know that you should always take off your belt. And yes, not every belt will make the scanner beep, but it's always worth it to take it off and be on the safe side. Going a bit further, if you want to save time, as taking off and then on of the belt might take some time, and with all the stress and pressure, maybe something you want to avoid, just don't have a belt on you for the security check. But what if you have to wear one? Well, I didn't mean to just wear pants and hold them with your hand so they don't slip from your butt. And that brings us to the second tip, what not to wear. Because chances are that at some point you will have to take off your belt, so not the best idea, a terrible idea would be to wear pants that really require wearing a belt or some suspenders. Imagine being in the security line, everyone is in a rush, crowd all around you, you're packing the trays, then taking off the belt, and you need to go through the scanner and possibly raise your hands for an additional hand scan. Now, if your pants fell off your butt, you definitely have an unforgettable travel, probably not the way you wanted though. The next tip is to be more mindful of the clothes you're wearing, and especially the ones that are a bit more fancy and might have some metallic threading. Sometimes it's barely visible, but it still can get the alarm triggered. If you're a guy, you may think that it doesn't apply to you, but don't be so sure, even some heavy-duty zippers might cause the alarm go off. And when it comes to metallic stuff you'd be wearing, it also applies to the jewelry. If there are certain metallic accessories that you do want to have with you while traveling, make sure to put it into your carry-on bag. If it's really valuable, avoid packing it into your checked-in luggage, as that might get lost, and you wouldn't want your diamond crown to get lost with it as well. If we're talking about accessories you might be wearing, it's not only about the metallic stuff, for which the scanner is obviously sensitive to. Actually, it's about any additional and non-essential accessories. Things like sunglasses, hats or scarves are better to remain in your pack. You know, it's not like the scanner will go crazy when you're wearing a hat, but first of all, most likely the security agents will ask you to take it off, and it will just make everything much more difficult to prepare. Like your jacket or sweatshirt, if you need to take them off, everything occupying your head will make it just more problematic. And there's one accessory that makes it so much more problematic that I put it into a separate category. For all those fans of music that want to listen to it, my advice would be to give it a break just for a moment, just for the security check. If you're wearing headphones, those big ones, the same reasoning applies as for other accessories. But since it is an electronic device and it has metal parts in it, you will have to take it off. If you're having what seems to be already old school, if you're having earphones or headphones connected with a wire, then you can imagine trying to put it into your pocket or fold the cable, or worst case, forgetting to take them off your ears before taking off your sweatshirt, what ends with a dangling Walkman, respect millennials, or phone. It's not really any better with AirPods. They may fall out while taking off clothes, and looking for them on the airport ground might not be the way to spend your time there. If your AirPods do fall on the ground, you better don't step on them with your huge boots you're wearing. And that's not the only reason to avoid putting them on for security check. Many people are triggering the alarm in the screening process, or are being asked to take off their shoes before the screening if they have massive footwear on. Some are precautious and do that without being asked, but myself, being totally honest, I don't think I have ever taken my shoes off for the security check. Probably because I'm always wearing light and comfortable shoes, which are not a problem for TSA. So if you were to dress for the TSA to get through it quickly and smoothly, avoid bulky shoes, which you may have to take off. However, suppose you're going to a cold place or you need bigger shoes for mountaineering or whatever reason. In that case, you might want to put them on to save space in your luggage, but try to avoid it, as sitting in insulated shoes in a warm airplane for many hours won't be comfortable. Now, being comfortable in the airplane is important, and my tip is to wear multiple layers there, as it might get quite cold or really warm. It's really hard to tell, and having an additional sweatshirt to put under your head as a pillow can be a game changer. But having many layers in the airplane might be a good idea, but not really for the security check. There you might need to take them off until you only have your t-shirt on. Putting that all back on might be a struggle and unnecessary stress. Well, how can you solve that issue? You should pack your carry-on luggage having both the security check and the flight in mind. That means that you can put a hoodie or light jacket or whatever you want to wear in the plane into the backpack and put it on before boarding. During the security check though, you won't be overdressed and it will make the process much smoother. Now, which part of the security check is most important? Many would point out the screening itself, and that's kinda true, but if you prepare accordingly, this is just a walk in the park. So the most important part is to prepare well and put everything into the trays that belongs there. Sounds easy, but if you are in a hurry and the next passengers are breathing down your neck, it's always better to do it quickly and be confident about the process. And what you need to do is to get rid of every possible obstacle. So if you need to get everything out of your pockets, it's just much easier to have normal pants with 2 pockets rather than those army moro pants with 2 billion pockets where you need to go through all of them because you're never sure if you check them all. So on one hand, it's easier to not wear those kinds of pants. On the other hand, and this is my absolutely favorite pro tip, is to have a sling or fanny pack with you. Why is it an ultimate travel accessory? You can check in here. But it's also great for the security check. You can prepare well just by putting everything you have on you, all your accessories, watch, glasses, keys, wallet, phone, tickets, you name it, into the sling and just put it on the tray. It will make the process much easier and quicker, and the risk of losing your stuff will be much lower. If you like this content and you value what you can learn here, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and like the video to let me know that this is the right content and I should do more of this kind of videos. Now the last tip is the most important one. It's about your dignity. It's about your confidence, your position in the society. Don't underestimate it. Don't. If you go through the security check, it may happen that you will need to take off your shoes. Yes, I know it doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. So the last thing that you would want is to stand in front of this majestic security agent, take off the shoes, and the socks you're wearing have holes in them. Or are old and, God forbid, stinky. Now you can imagine the whole airport going wild and rolling on the floor with laughter. Would you bounce back from that experience? All jokes, folks, no one really cares what you wear. The most important is for you to be comfy and happy about it. Also, that you're comfy and happy in the airplane during the flight. And that's not easy, especially if the flight is really long. But if you follow those tips, every flight you'll be having can be really pleasant. So check out that video next. Cheers, safe travels and do zobaczenia.